Hey guys, this is Smithy. Welcome to my channel. Today's video is a very special one. We are gonna build our own palette using these three palettes, okay? So all Unearthly palettes that I own. So this is Don't Be Jelly palette, Sorcerous Smoke palette, and Fall Magic palette. I'm pretty sure you all know how these palettes look. I'm not going to show you inside because I created my own color story based on a picture that I saw based on like spring. I was drooling for their Spring Magic palette, but it is like $78. Now it's on a pre-order. I was like, Smithy, do you have these shades in your collection? I'm not duping that palette by any means, but I want to create my own take of Spring Magic using these palettes, taking an inspiration, drawing an inspiration from a picture. So I can show you the picture on the screen for you guys. And now, if you want to see how I build my own palette, how I created both of these eye looks that you're seeing right now, then please keep on watching. So let's start off with the build your own palette. I know that this light is gonna drive you bonkers because of my window situation, but I wanted to film no matter what. I want to show you the inspiration photo that I am capturing out of, that I'm thinking that I can replicate using these Unearthly Cosmetics palette. Now, this is a perfect spring situation where you can see all like the cherry blossoms with that tree branch with those browns, those burgundy benches. I felt so inspired with like pop of greens for those grass. The cherry blossom itself, I mean, you can take so much of inspiration out of that itself with those peaches, the pinks, the purples, the whites. I definitely wanted to capture that image in a palette format. And obviously, we have three palettes from Unearthly Cosmetics in front of us. We have the Fall Magic palette, the Sorcerous Smoke, and Don't Be Jelly palette. Like some of my absolute favorites from their line. And I felt like this definitely can help me capture the essence of that image. So what I'm going to do is like whatever draws my attention from that image in terms of the color story, I'm just going to pick it up and see where we land. So I also want to keep it like a cohesive palette that I would use, and I'll definitely do a eye look using this palette too. So let's take the deeper shades. Definitely, I want to take that burgundy inspiration from the bench, from the shade Snug. I'm on my table, which is two-tone. So that's why you see a wooden tone as well as like that white. But I thought that this would help you to see the palette in fruition, especially when you see it on the white background. So that's why. So we have a burgundy. I also want a pink. My question is, should I take cozy or should I take this one, which is coral? I think I should go with cozy for the pink inspiration. Just because if I want a more of a pinky look, I can get into that rather than coral. I feel like I can also get a purpley look out of that. So I want to take this purple, which is the shade called Sea Star from Don't Be Jelly palette. You know how much I love that. So let's keep that. And now green, right? I want that pop of green. I just don't know what. I also want that brown coming through from the tree branch, and I feel like, oh, this is the shade called Branch, and this is Suit. Let me just swatch and see. Like pretty much a similar tone. I just feel like Suit is more like recent, and it's a little bit more smoother. So I'll go with Suit. So I feel like out of like deepening shades, I think we are set with these because I definitely want some shimmers. For crease, I definitely want a green, okay? Now the thing is like which green should I pick? I can either go with this shade, which is Seafoam, or I can go like Herbal Eucalyptus Forage. I feel like we should take Seafoam just because of that brightness that's coming through. I think. And maybe we can take a brighter green shimmer We'll see, we'll see. We're playing with like 12 pan eyeshadow palette, right? So 5 mattes I feel is good, but I also want equal balance of mattes and shimmers. Also, one more thing, we don't have any neutral. So I want some neutral, and I feel like the tree branch can lean a little bit more greeny as well as browny or like neutrally. Let's take a spice shade. How about that? I feel like that would be amazing. Now, we've pretty much 6 shades right now, right? I wanted a peach, but I mean, peach can be a shimmer too, right? So let's start with that. Let's take this autumn shade, which is like pink and peach, which would be a perfect shade for the trees. And it can go like more pinky with the pink, or it can go more like peachy with a purple. Yeah, I feel like that would go well. I also wanted the shade Change, which is like a purple to a green shifting shade. I absolutely love this shade. There's no rhyme or reason why I should choose this or why I should not choose that. I really love that shade. I also wanted Vervin, which I feel like it's more like grungy and deep, and this can be that bark which is more on the left side, which is green to a brown to like cool tone, whatever color story, right? So I feel like that would go with this green. What else? I definitely want a multi-chrome. Now, the white flowers in the cherry blossom, I feel like can be either depicted with like these kind of crisp shade, salty shade, or maybe one of the multi-chromes here. What do we do? I feel we should take this shade, but I have to swatch and see if it's similar to anything else in the shade mix that I've chosen or not. Oh, but I also want potent shade, no matter what you guys say or what the picture says. I want a sparkly business on my eyes. So I definitely want potent. What else? I would have loved a transfixed shade for like greens, but I feel like all of these shimmers, like this one, Hydrospace, this Vervin, what is this shade? Change. All of this have like a green shift to it. So do we actually need it is my question. How many shades do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Oh, we just have one more shade. I feel like I should take a lighter shade. Let's take Salty. That would get us like more of a bluey route too and give us more variation. Or maybe Crisp. Oh my God. And let's see Transfixed too. What out of those greens does make sense? Okay, let me swatch a few shades and see what makes sense and what doesn't, because I feel like now we have a lot of shades. We just need to see what is similar, what is not, right? So I'm pretty sure about these 2 shades for deepening out shade. I'm also sure about this purple shade because it won't be a palette for Smithy if it's not purple, right? I also want like a warmer tone neutrally shade. That's for sure. I want a pink shade, and out of the pink, this one, Cozy shade and Coral, I would say I would prefer a cozy shade. I would take this shade. Oh, I think we're set on the mattes. I think. I'm still iffy about this green shade. Okay, let's swatch and see, okay? If anything is pretty much like the similar tone or not. That's Vervain. This is Autumn. Yep. Autumn. So pretty much different color story, right? So this is Change, which is a purple to a green shifting shade. I like that. Let's do this Potent shade. I feel like Potent is pretty much fixed. because I feel like that is like a shimmery shade that would just lighten or make the look sparkly, no matter what. Let's do this. What is this? Transfixed. Okay, the greeniness can happen with this shade. Okay, I want to swatch this against this shade. This was also another green. Yeah, we don't need both of these greens. We have to choose which green. I'm rooting for that green. So let's put crisp back. Let's do salty. And I know salty can be a good inner corner shade, especially with that purple, because this shifts to more like a blue. See that one? And one more shade, Hydrospace. So let's do that too. Now Hydrospace also has like that orange, like a warmer tone shift, which Change has. Yeah, we don't need both of these. Okay, so let's put Hydrospace back. Let's see if we take Luminescence. How will that be? These are all taking the same tone. So do we take Luminescence or should we take Crisp? I think we should take Crisp just because of that greeniness of the grass. And how many shades do we have now? 6 and 6. Oh, we do have 12 shades now. Are we happy with the color story or should I get Magic or Jellyfish in the mixture? Because I feel like Jellyfish would be amazing as that leaves, like the flower shade. Yeah, I don't want that. But Jellyfish would have been amazing. Okay, I feel like I'm one shade more, but I feel like the Jellyfish would complete that leaves. So what are we doing? I'm thinking, should we take back the salty shade because there's no blue in the picture? But I would have loved a inner corner shade, but I'm compromising that with Potent, which I really want. And this is a iffy shade, but I feel like we need that green aspect rather than the shimmer, just because like an inner corner matte highlight or something like that. Let's design it and see. Let's empty the Don't Be Jelly palette just so that we can see everything in a palette and see how that rolls. Okay, this is what we're playing with, right? I feel like because there's no aspect of blue, I think we should get this back. So let's do that. I feel like we have lighter tone shimmers in this palette. Let's assemble in the palette and see how it rolls. Yeah, like that. Okay, let's see. What do you think? I like it. I really like the vibes of this palette. I feel like this captures the essence of that picture really, really well. I really like it. I cannot wait to create more looks with this palette. Oh my, what a YouTuber am I. I did not even swatch this palette, so let's do that first. I'm gonna take Salty. Oh, I should not even like... I should say what shade it is. I'm pretty sure this is Change. This is Suit. Let's see if we remember this. Really love that. Next we have Sea Space. Not Sea Space. This is Cozy. This is Potent. There you go. Potent. Oh, this is so stunning. So stunning. Okay, I'm getting excited now, you guys. This is Autumn. And this was Snug, I think. So that's Autumn. And this is Snug. This, I think this was Sea Star. Sea Star and Jellyfish. Oh, yeah, it was there only, yeah. So Sea Star, Jellyfish. Not sure. I think this was Transfixed. And this was Sea Foam. So Transfixed, look at that. Yeah. Sea Foam. Love that bright pop. Spice and Vervain. So Spice, that mid-tone brown shade, and Vervain, which is that grungy, cool tone, greeny gray shade. I really, really love the way this came out. Little green heavy, right? Really pretty. I really, really love it. Now let's move on to the look. Okay, let's begin with the eye look. I love the way this turned out, okay? I really love the way. I feel like it's a very, very much a version of the Don't Be Jelly palette now when I see it. But more elevated. Let's see, okay? I definitely don't want to mix the same shades that were there in the palette. For example, because this purple shade and the Seafoam shade was there in the same palette. I don't want to mix those shades because I'm pretty sure that you can find like a similar look from that Don't Be Jelly palette that I have recorded. So I would definitely want to mix and match the shades from different palettes, if that makes sense. Let's start off with the shade Sea Space, which is that pink shade. I'm thinking green and brown and pinks, corals and purples together. We'll see. At least I'm leaning towards that. Just because this shade, Snug, is from Fall Magic palette. And I want to mix and match Fall Magic and Don't Be Jelly palette just to create its own magic. This is like a Spring Magic palette, revamped version, my style. They already have a Spring Magic palette, by the way. I personally do not own that palette. And also, I'm not an affiliate of this brand. All these palettes are bought by my own money. Okay, now let's move into this shade, the purple shade, which is called Sea Star. Just gonna melt that pink and purple together. And then just blend it down here. We're gonna do two looks, if I did not say before. I'm jumping all over the place just because I'm so excited to play with this. And I'm gonna definitely play with this like revamped version of the palette even more next week when I go to office. So pretty. Okay, I'm gonna take the same shade, the Sea Star, the purpley shade, on my lower lash line too, and mix it with that cozy shade. Okay, that pink shade. Now for the outer corners, let's take this shade Snug, and this is from the Fall Magic palette, and I'm gonna just stamp that right there in the outer corners so that we can get the depth that we are looking for. Now what are we doing? There are a few things that we can do. While I think, let's put some Glimmer Grasp on our eyes. Okay, I don't know, I want to apply actually everything. Let's start with the Change shade, And then we'll go with this shade, which is called Jellyfish actually. And then we might wrap this green shade in the inner corners. We'll see. We'll see how it rolls. So I'm taking the change shade from the Fall Magic palette. And obviously you do not need to take all of these shades together. I'm just having fun. I'm in the mood for some fun. So let's do that. I love that shiftiness. Okay, we'll definitely finesse it. Taking Jellyfish, that is that purple. In the inner part of the eyelid. That is so pretty. So pretty, you guys. That's so pretty. I love that. Okay, I'm gonna take that brush with the snug shade, whatever was left over. I'm just taking and stamping it on the edge of that change, just so that it melts together. I'm seeing a little bit of patchiness here. I don't know why. It actually can be my eyelid, just because this is like the third look that I'm creating today. Maybe that's the reason. So you can ignore it, because I've definitely used these palettes a lot of times on my channel. Oof, I like it. Except that mishap that is happening here. We will finish off this eye, but before that, let me just finish my inner corners. I'm gonna take the shade this one. What is this called? Transfixed, I think, and this was from the Sorcerous Smoke. I'm gonna just plop that right there in the inner corners, and that's just beautiful addition to that look. Okay, now let's finish the next eye look too. I am gonna start off with that deeper shade now, and that was the shade Suit, and this is from the Sorcerous Smoke palette. Take that in the outer corners, stamping it right there, going little by little, and then building it up. Now I'm gonna take this shade Spice, and Spice is from the Fall Magic palette, and I'm gonna take that basically right here and blending it with that Suit shade. So this would be like a transitioning everyday kind of shade, but wait till you see the inner corner shade, because that will change the neutraliness of this look altogether. I definitely wanted a neutral shade in this palette too, just to make it more wearable. Obviously, I'm having fun today, but that doesn't mean that I'm gonna feel like having fun every day and like going more colorful every day. That's what I mean by fun, okay? Going back into Suit, and then just deepening it out in the outer corners. Doing the same thing on the lower lash line, and now dipping into that Spice shade and blending it out. With the same brush, I'm gonna take this shade, Seafoam shade, and I don't know how this is gonna look, but I'm gonna try it. And that would be our inner corner popping shade, like that. Going back into that Spice shade, because I don't want to lose it, and just melting it out. And that basically, the Spice shade and that Seafoam shade mixed together definitely gave me more of like a cool tony brown shade, more like a gray shade, I would say. Okay, yeah, so do keep that in mind. Now let's take some Glimmer Grasps. Let's go into some shimmers, right? Going with a similar application, I'm going to start with Vervain now, which is like a gray green shade, and that would go so perfectly with this eye look, like all across the eye look. But we don't have to stop there, just because this turned out to be like a cooler tone eye, just because of that seafoam green we mixed. Oh, so pretty. I love this shade, Vervin. Vervin is from the Sorcerous Smoke palette. Love it. I think there's only 2 more shades that we did not use. That's Autumn and Potent. So let's do that. We'll start with Autumn. And of course, Autumn is more pink to a peach shifting shade. That in the inner portion of the eyelid. Oh, look at that fieriness. I love that. Love that. Okay. And I'm going to take the other shade, Potent. Now, if you guys don't know Potent, Potent is from the Sorcerous Smoke palette. That's like my favorite shade of neutral in my collection. It is so sparkly, like it just transforms any eye look when you apply that. It's so beautiful, so beautiful. I'm going to finish off both of these eyes with some liner and mascara, and I'll get right back. And those are my final 2 looks. I so very much love this palette that I created using the combination of Sorcerous Smoke, Don't Be Jelly, and Fall Magic palette. I love this version. I absolutely love this version. I love that it can go more like warm tone, cool tone, neutral. And I cannot stop staring in my eyes. I really love both of the eye looks. I love that fieriness that's coming here. And obviously purple, you know, purple. I love it. I absolutely loved building my own palette with these shades. And I love, I'm pretty sure you saw. So those are the swatches, the entire palette swatched for you. It is so pretty, you guys. I love it. I love it. If you like building your own palette, if you like watching these kind of videos, you need to let me know in the comment section below. I can film it with Glaminatrix. I can do it with Ensley Rain Cosmetics. I can do it with Natasha Denona. I can do it with so many palettes, because nowadays so many palettes are magnetic, and this is such a fun take on creating a new palette without buying one. And who doesn't love that? I certainly do. I love when I see that I can create a new palette without buying or spending money. I love it. I absolutely loved creating both of these eye looks. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you did like it, you know what to do. Do give it a thumbs up, and also subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and ring the notification bell so that you're notified every time that I post next. I generally upload 3 videos every single week, every Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays at 9 AM Eastern Standard Time. Until next time, I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.